So Simon, possibly to a lot of people, commentators, it was a bit of a shock result, a surprise result. Was it a surprise to you, given that you said that performance always was kind of on the cards?
No, I was pleased, and it wasn't a surprise. I think we've been sort of just simmering a little bit this season, not quite hitting our straps for the full 80 minutes, and I think we've seen that in patches, but we haven't really been accurate, and our intensity hasn't been quite good enough for the full 80. But I think we saw that throughout the game. The intent was spot on early on. Without the ball, we put them under pressure, and then we produced 3 quality tries. 3 tries that were as good as any scored over the weekend. So that was pleasing that we not only delivered on the defensive front, but we also, from an attack perspective, we finished off those opportunities, and we created some real quality opportunities as well, and we finished them off.
Is it the Heineken Cup factor that everyone gets up for that game? Was that part of it in terms of getting the motivation levels right for that week?
I think we talked about it a little bit in the week. We talked about probably, we're on the eyes of Europe are on us, and I think that brought out something special in the players, and it always has done with this club since I've been involved. It's always been able to get itself up for these big occasions. Our challenge now is to make sure that we don't waste the hard work that went into the preparation against Quins, but also then the performance that the boys put in. So it would be really tough coming out here on the weekend and not getting that type of performance again. And it felt like a home game in certain aspects. We had a fantastic support up at Quins, and one of Jordan's try, I think, was scored at that end, and you could just hear the crowd were going crazy, and fantastic to see so many Scarlets fans up there and giving the boys a lift, and that really had a big part to play, I think, in the performance as well.
How important is it therefore to pack this place next weekend?
It's vital. It sounds, and people say it sometimes, but it can be a 16th man if we use it in the right way, and we got to give the crowd something to cheer about. We got to make sure that they get into the game early, but also they can help us as well, and it will be no better than running out in front of a full house or close to a full house on the weekend for the players after the work that they put in up in Harlequins, and the effort that a lot of people went to go up to Harlequins and support the team, and for us to give another quality performance would be right, but it's important that we do it here on the weekend.
As a head coach, how difficult it is to get the balance between the confidence and momentum that comes from a great win like that, the buzz, and then actually keeping your feet on the ground, getting your heads down and really preparing, because obviously the preparation this week is absolutely vital again.
It is. You don't want to stifle that kind of confidence and enjoyment too much, because that's when you get the best out of your players, I think, and there are certain things in our game which we can improve on, and certain things which we're preparing for this week that we did slightly differently last week. But I think overall we want to back up what we did. Our standards were good last week in preparation. We understood our game plan, and we understood on the whole how Quins might play against us, and I think we'd certainly try and do that again this week, and prepare in a similar way, and hopefully that will then see us come through with a performance again like we did in London.
So on that note, what are you expecting from a star-studded Racing side?
Difficult to tell who's going to play, to be honest, because they had a tough game on Sunday night against Claremont, and they probably have another 15 or 20 players that they could call upon to start the game on the weekend. So there'll be certain things in their game that they won't be able to change in a short period, in a short turnaround that they've got. So we're focusing on some of the stuff that they've done in the last few weeks, but probably focusing a lot on ourselves, and if we get our own house in order, get our own performance to a level like we did in the Stoop, then as we saw on the weekend, it will be difficult to beat.
I suppose some might sort of label it a bit of a David and Goliath battle in terms of the money that sits around French clubs, the depth of the squad. For you, though, in terms of what you saw at the weekend, you've got some great experience on the field at the international level, as well as some great young talent as well. How do you sort of kind of look at the imbalance supposedly on paper?
I think players that lift themselves for those games. I think you're right. There's always going to be sides and clubs with bigger names on paper and bigger salaries, but sometimes the collective can be the stronger, and that's what we were on the weekend. We were collectively stronger than Quins, I felt, from 1 to 15 that started, and then the guys that came off the bench, and we've got to make sure we do that again against probably an even bigger team, a bigger team with more budget than Quins in Racing. Nothing changes from our perspective. People will obviously see what we did against Quins and maybe expect a bit more from us, and that's rightly so. We should expect more from ourselves, but also we can't look at Racing and think, oh, they've got this and that, they've got these players and that player. At the end of the day, they're 15 players, and they're 15 players that play to our potential and perform the way we did against Quins. Then we're well able to win the game.
A lot said obviously at the weekend about the skill, the talent, the experience of your backline with obviously John, Scott, Reece working together. Just on another level, your foreign players that have come in, people like Jake, George, those players that have come into the squad, settled in now, how important have those players been as well in terms of the pack performance?
Yeah, I think the platform that we set up front has been a key to a lot of our good results this season, and the likes of George and Jake in the second row have really they brought a little bit of an edge, and they brought some physicality. And that's been a big plus this season, whereas last season we probably didn't have those players in, like Jacoby and Joe Schneemann coming in a little bit later than everyone else, so couldn't really work with them for as long as we have done this season. So hopefully now that they've had a pre-season together, we can start to see some reward for that hard work that's been gone in. And I think they're also driving some of the standards, and players who have been here a long time. Players like Josh Turnbull on the weekend was outstanding and really lifted his game, and there's other players as well that are starting to believe that when they see guys around them playing to a level, that they can play at that level as well. And I think we saw that in other players in the background as well, Rodri Williams and Jordan Williams. Not household names yet, but certainly going in the right direction, and having the confidence playing around players like Reece and Scott and John Davis. That only breeds a little bit of confidence, and hopefully that will rub off on other players.
Well, it's a fantastic start to the European campaign, so congratulations from everybody and really good luck on the weekend.
Thank you.